Wow, welcome to That's Football. He's not even 20 till June, and a £150 million package has apparently been agreed for Jude Bellingham. Where is he going to go? Let's get into it. Is it the right decision for him? You know, he seems to be a player that's been around for so long, and I often say at 16 years of age he was playing centre midfield for Birmingham City in the Championship, which is incredible. It shows you what a talented player Jude Bellingham is, and really how the sky is the limit. Where would you like him to go next from Dortmund? Would you like him in the Premier League? Would you like him to be at Real Madrid? Well, AS in Spain this morning are reporting that Jude Bellingham has chosen Real Madrid. His heart is set on a move to Real Madrid. Is that the right decision for Jude Bellingham? Is it where he's ultimately going to end up? I'll tell you for free, and I'm not taking the tweet down. I was speaking about the United sale a couple of days ago with a couple of people. One of them told me Jude Bellingham to Manchester City is done, according to rumours in the industry. So look, how has this happened? It's a really weird one, the Jude Bellingham sale, and I think it's got loads of. I think everybody can get involved in it because I think everybody's been linked to him, whether even Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, but certainly. For most of this season, it's been Liverpool, Real Madrid and Manchester City who've been fighting it out for the signature of Jude. And Liverpool were, and I'll argue this with anybody, and certainly people close to Liverpool will argue it as well, Liverpool were very, 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 very high in the race to get Jude Bellingham. It was generally accepted for a long time that he was going to go to Liverpool, and ultimately I think Liverpool's bad season has prevented that from happening twofold. One, I think Jude Bellingham's looked at it and gone, is Liverpool the right place for me? They're probably not going to be in the Champions League. And more importantly, Liverpool and Klopp have looked at it and gone, spending over £100 million on one player isn't going to solve the problems in this team. As much as we would like him, we need to spend that money better on quantity rather than one outstanding quality player. So that's why Liverpool are out of the race, which leaves Real Madrid and Manchester City. Now, look, in a straight race between Man City and Real Madrid, I probably would prefer he went to Bellingham. He went to Real Madrid because Jude Bellingham at Man City are already dominating this Premier League. I mean, the Premier League's been very, very competitive this season, but effectively we have got to be at Bayern Munich, and they're called Manchester City. They are dominating this league. They're too good for it. You give Jude Bellingham to them and they just get better. I mean, they'd won 2 Premier Leagues in a row and they added Erling Haaland. I mean, it's not a surprise that they're running away with 3 in a row and they could win a treble. It's domination. So Man City with Jude Bellingham in their team, and they've definitely got a gap. You know, Gundogan's been rumoured to go for a couple of years. Same with Bernardo Silva. Calvin Phillips is not really a Manchester City player. They have got to go and buy somebody in the midfield in the summer. Now, I was told that Bellingham was that player. And then if they didn't get Bellingham, they'd probably go for De Jong. And if they didn't get De Jong, they'd probably go for someone like Barella. But they will get someone this summer, and they do want Jude Bellingham. So how is it that Jude Bellingham would choose Real Madrid over Manchester City, and why? And I've got to be honest here. As I say, there's nothing wrong with Real Madrid. I'm hoping that Real Madrid are going to beat Man City to stop them winning the treble. And hopefully United will do that in the FA Cup final. So Real Madrid are a fantastic side. They're the most successful football domestic club in the world. They always will be a competitor. That midfield is going through transition. We've seen Casemiro leave. Modric and Kroos can't have much more left in the tank. But they do have other good players. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde's there. So you add Jude Bellingham in there and you've got really good future young talents in a midfield that can help Real Madrid compete where they want to compete, which is at the top of the Liga, and more importantly competing for the Champions League. So I can see why Jude Bellingham would be wanted by Real Madrid, more importantly, and why Jude Bellingham would be interested in Real Madrid. But I've got to say there's a tad bit of curiosity / disappointment because Jude Bellingham's English. The Premier League is the best league in the world. He is a box-to-box midfielder that I would love to see playing in the Premier League. I don't want to see him playing for Man City or Liverpool though, so Real Madrid personally, I'd rather he chose that. But I am surprised that he would choose Real Madrid over the Premier League because, you know, he is and should be England's best talent in future years. And he's not been in England since he was 17 when he left Birmingham City. He's never played in the Premier League. And if you sign for Real Madrid, he could be there for 5 or 6 years. All right, he's got plenty of time on the clock. He could come to the Premier League at 26. But I do think that as an English player, in the way that he plays football, the Premier League is surely the place where he wants to be, and the Premier League is the centre of the universe when it comes to eyes on football. I'm not saying it's got the best football, but it's the best league in the world. It's the most watched league in the world, and you know, Real Madrid or Barcelona are a very big pull. But I really thought he would end up in the Premier League. So look, I don't think it's definitely nailed on, but look at the money that you're talking about here. The whole package is meant to be at £150 million. Apparently, Real Madrid are refusing to pay any more than €120 million, which is just over £100 million. But when you take into account signing on fees, wages, it's going to be around £150 million. And you could almost argue that Jude Bellingham for £100 million is a little bit cheap from what Dortmund would want. But having said that, it's still a hell of a lot of money to pay for somebody who will only be 20 this summer. So £100 million looks like it's going to be around what it's going to cost. I think Man City can compete with that. So ultimately, if he's choosing Real Madrid over Man City, he's choosing Real Madrid over Man City. Which again, I find, you know, encouraging, because I'd rather he wasn't playing for City. But I must say, a little bit confusing, because I thought, really, his game's absolutely tailor-made for the Premier League. And Pep Guardiola is sort of the quintessential coach that, whilst it's the Premier League, he's also the best coach in the world when it comes to, you know, tactics. And if you're Jude Bellingham, 20, you're coming into the best league in the world, the best team in that league, with the best tactical coach in that league, the development of your game is massive at 20 years of age. At Real Madrid, look, great club, but who's the manager? Will it be Ancelotti next year? So I must admit, when it was said to me a couple of days ago that the deal for Bellingham to Man City is rumoured to be basically done, I wasn't surprised. When this came in today about Real Madrid, I was surprised, because I really did think that logically, as I say, I don't want it to happen, but I thought Man City was the most logical deal for him to do for many reasons. And that in no way is that disrespectful to Real Madrid, but I did think that would maybe what happened. Why would he not sign for Manchester City? Well, he's not signing for Liverpool for obvious reasons. Why would he not sign for Manchester City? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I suppose people will, and get in the comments what your thoughts are, obviously. I suppose some people would say, well, it's because they've got those FA charges hanging over them. If they get found guilty of that, you know, suddenly Man City becomes a very unattractive club to play for. Could that be an impact on players? I don't think so, because you're assuming that they actually will get found guilty, which, you know, maybe they won't get found guilty. You're also, you know, that's not going to stop De Jong signing for Man City or another top player signing for Man City. So I don't think that's a reason. Maybe it's just a craving to go and play for Real Madrid. You know, maybe he's just always wanted to play for Real Madrid. Maybe it's just a boyhood dream. You know, we hear it a lot. Oh, my boyhood dream is to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona. And maybe that's just the simplicity of it. Maybe Man City, you know, we say it's a little bit soulless. And I'm not disrespecting Man City, but compared to a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, even Man United and Liverpool struggle with that. So Man City might struggle with that sort of pull. Maybe it's just about that. I don't know, but yeah, interesting. And I've got to say, I'm surprised that he's not going to end up in the Premier League, because I think he's absolutely made for the Premier League. 20 to 25, blitz the Premier League and then go to Real Madrid. That's the way I would do it. That's the way most people have done it. It feels a bit weird going to Real Madrid at 20 and then presumably he comes to the Premier League when he's, 24, 25. But it's not easy to buy a player out of Real Madrid in their prime. Mainly Real Madrid let players go at the back end of their career. So, you know, would he ever come to the Premier League then? It's, as I say, it's a bit unprecedented to see a young player who's English go to Real Madrid at 20 and then leave when they've developed at 25. There's not going to be a lot of clubs that can go and spend that money and give it to Real Madrid to buy a prime 25-year-old Jude Bellingham. But look, that's for the future. Let's see what happens. Get your comments in below. Smash a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. That's football. Everybody's welcome.